Cynthia is up first from Hastings, Nebraska. And Cynthia, welcome to the Spirit World.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you. Go right ahead.
A little background. It's hard for me to say. My daughter was murdered 14 months and 12 days ago. Oh. And at the same time, 3 weeks before that, my nephew died suddenly in his sleep. So I lived by myself. For 2 years now, I've lived by myself, but I was married for 40 years to a Catholic man. And Melissa that was not her father, but Melissa liked the Catholic faith. That was my daughter's name, Melissa. And she was a practicing Catholic when she was murdered. And Benjamin was a free spirit with no religion at all. When he passed away, my nephew, who suddenly died in his sleep, passed away anyway. Ever since they passed away, I've never been closer to God. I've never felt closer to him speaking with me and me speaking to him. And I'm very grateful for my life, where I live, what's happening to me. I'm very grateful. And my question is, when I sit and talk to Melissa, which I do all the time, my daughter, when I talk to her, I will get either a click on the wall, or a light will flicker and then go on, or there will be just different things that will happen. There is dimes that I find in the strangest places. Yesterday I found a dime above my bathroom frame door, the door that frames my bathroom. I'm 5 foot tall, and it's up there 8 feet in the air. I got a ladder when I saw something strange, and I went up there, and it was a dime. And so I sleep with God. I listen with her, and I just wonder if the clicks and the creaks and the light flickering, and she can do the radio too. She'll turn it on and off. Not physically turn it on and off, but the radio will turn off and then come back on. It usually happens when, she was a country music fan, and when I put rock and roll on. So my question is, do you think she's around here, or do you think she can hear me, or do you think I'm losing my mind?
Well, before Adam responds, and we have a couple comments on this, I wanted to let you know, Cynthia, I brought out the prayer book, and I put your daughter, Melissa, in our prayer book, and you said it was your nephew?
Yes.
Okay. Do you want to give us his first name, or no? You don't have to.
Oh, sure, Benjamin.
Oh, Benjamin. Okay, I want to make sure. So I put everybody in the book. I'm so sorry for your loss. So sorry for the losses in your family. And I also wanted to I also wanted to recognize you're calling in from Nebraska, so I wanted to recognize the station that you're listening on. That is Spirit Catholic Radio, which does a fine job as an EWTN affiliate. So, Adam, please respond to Cynthia first about her precious daughter, Melissa.
Yeah, Cynthia. So, like Deb said, I'm very sorry to hear that. That's got to be just awful. So here's the thing. There's kind of two things here, Cynthia. One is, with the taps and creaks, that part, I would say, when we lose somebody and we're really looking for any indication, anything little that normally we would ignore and not even notice in life, we kind of ascribe meaning to it. So that may or may not be something spiritual going on. The lights flickering, unless you have electrical problems in your house or you've had trouble with those lights, I mean, that's a little more unusual. And then the radio, that's unusual too. Cynthia, if she's in purgatory, she's not going to be trying to draw you into communicating with her. She's only going to signal a need for prayer, and that would be very rare that would happen, and then there would be no other communication whatsoever. So, unfortunately, I would say the best thing you can do, don't try to don't try to dialogue with her. You can talk to her in the sense of saying, I love you, Melissa, and please pray for me where you are, and I'm going to be praying for you. But don't expect a dialogue. I have seen so many sad cases, Cynthia, so many over the years, where the bad guys have taken advantage of somebody who's mourning a loss, and they step in and they pretend to be that spirit. This happens all the time in ghost hunting and paranormal investigating, where people are bereaved and they pick up paranormal stuff or a recorder and they try to get voices, and it's the enemy tricking them, because we know as Catholic Christians, anybody that's Bible believing, necromancy, which is calling the dead, is forbidden in the Bible. Calling them to communicate with them is forbidden so strongly in the Bible. It says God finds the practice abhorrent. So we want to stay away from trying to communicate with the dead. Does that make sense, Cynthia?
It really, really does. It really does. Talking to her is different than trying to get her to be around to communicate. I understand, and that makes perfect sense, sir.
Okay. So I would, continue to pray for her. You can ask her to pray for you, but do not respond to the tapping. Don't tap back. If that happens, ignore it. If the lights flicker, ignore it. Of course, rule it out. Make sure it's not bad wiring. Check the bulb, that kind of thing. And then ask Jesus to stop, make any manifestation stop that isn't of God. And I think that'll bring an end to it.
What's the best? What's the best way to do that? I was going to jump in and share that, Adam. What's the best? How would you express that?
Just in plain language, between you and Jesus. I would say simply something like, Lord, there's something weird going on here. I don't want any part of it. I'm going to pray for her, but I know she's not allowed to dialogue with me. Please take this away.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That makes sense. Do you think that the more sins that she had, the longer she'll be in purgatory?
Well, basically yes, but we don't know how time works there. So time is different. Time is different than the way we think of it. And she was killed. She was murdered. So there's we don't know
she was murdered.
Right.
Well, she was murdered by her she'd known the guy 3 weeks, but he had her there because of the fentanyl. He lured her out in Nebraska, and he took her to Tennessee, and she had 10 times the legal dose of fentanyl. Just to let you know, it's
so
just
sorry.
Terrible how that drug just.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, that's great.
It's taken a lot of lives, but Adam, go back to that, because given her circumstances, that her life was cut short, not by her own choice, right? And so we don't know how God's mercy plays into that. But go ahead, Adam, with purgatory.
Yeah, just the last thing, Cynthia, you can pray for her to speed her time in purgatory. The Mass is the most powerful prayer that we have. So if you can contact your pastor and have some Mass intentions said, where Masses are said for her soul, that's the most powerful thing you can do for her spiritually.
Amen. Thank you.